Hello and welcome to Elizabeth's Craft Room. One of the things I was really excited to see in the new autumn-winter catalogue was the return of a pillow box die. Yay! This time it's a framelit with lots of little accoutrements. I love accoutrements. I like the word accoutrements as well. And in there we have little tiny holly leaves, little Christmas trees and little pumpkins, as well as a cute frame that you could use on all sorts of projects. But today I'm going to show you this one. We're going to use the Winter Wonderland Designer Series paper. Now this is a speciality paper. Can you see how it's foiled? And it is absolutely beautiful. So you get one each of the foiled sheets and then you get two each of these gold and black designs. And they are lovely. They're really beautiful paper to work with. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and bring on my Big Shot. Now this is the pillow box, the main die, and I'm going to cut two of these out with the Big Shot. And I've picked this white gold speckled paper. Just run it through the other way because otherwise it's going to bang into my camera. That's one. I'll go ahead and cut the other one. Right, I've got two of these pieces cut, and a little tip, if you're going to put a frame into this, so you're going to run it through the Big Shot again, perhaps you're going to do an embossing folder or something like that, I would suggest gently reinforcing the score lines that are on there, because running it through the Big Shot can actually smooth out those original lines and make it a little bit more difficult to find them when you're assembling your project at the end. So just reinforce those a little bit, then I'm going to lay them down flat. And I'm going to use the smaller of the two little square dies, squares with the corners cut off. And what I love is the magnetic platform means that those don't jump about when you put them down. So you've got them positioned. Okay, so I've taken a little hole out of the front of the box. And while we've got the Big Shot here, I'm going to do a frame for that. So that's with the big one and the small one. And run that through. Finally, although this doesn't have to be cut out, I'm going to cut out a piece of vellum. I'll cut it out and then I'll show you a bit more about the vellum. So I'm just going to pop that piece out. That could have been hand cut, but it'll keep it neat like that. And I'm going to show you this beautiful vellum. Now this is one of those fantastic things that Stampin' Up do that have everything matching. I have used loads of this vellum, so there's actually quite a lot more than you're seeing here. It comes in the black and vellum designs and also in the gold and vellum designs. Look at that one there. Isn't that beautiful? And it is absolutely stunning. You can actually find all the coordinating products on page 23 of the new Stampin' Up catalogue, the autumn winter. You get 36 sheets of that vellum for £9, so it really is beautiful. And look at that lovely foil. There's some fantastic things that go with it too. So let's get along with putting this together. So I've already reinforced those pieces and I'm going to do the same with the back of the box too. Just give them a little pinch and it just helps with putting the box together. Now the first thing I'm going to do is to stick my vellum on the back, and I actually like Tombow for sticking vellum. If you're sticking it where it's going to show, if you really spread it out very thinly, it's actually next to invisible. But I didn't bother spreading it out because that's going to be on the inside. Isn't that cute? Look, have I put black behind it as it's going to be? Can you see? Isn't that lovely? And then we're going to put the frame around the edge. Whoops. So coordinated, I love it. And that's just done in the gold foil. You could do that also in a piece of the designer paper. It doesn't need to be in the foil, but it does look pretty like that. I'm going to use some of my tear and tape to put this together. Now here's a little tip that I have learned. Make sure your tape or your adhesive, if you're using a liquid adhesive, goes right to the very edge of that flap. Don't stop here, because it actually works a lot better if you're all the way to the edge. So I'm going to take that backing off, and how you deal with it if it's tape is you then just fold it back on itself. Right, now to assemble the box, I'm going to fold that flap down, line this up and press down. Turn it over, and if I fold that over, this should theoretically line up perfectly. And then you pop these pieces in. Now because they've got a double notch here, one little trick I've been shown is you can put that side down and actually, I'll show you, lock those two pieces together. Isn't that clever? So you can actually make your project, make your box lock at the sides. Pretty pretty. And then what I've done is to put some of the cording trim just across. Now I'm going to just say something here. Because there's black on the inside of this paper, I don't like the way that's looking. So I'm going to do this the traditional way on this piece. Can you see what I'm saying? There's a little, I can see black there. I don't like that. So if this was all the same colour inside and out, that locking thing would work well. That looks better to me. See, sometimes you learn as you go along. Okay, and we don't need to lock it because I'm using the cording trim, which is on the next page in the catalogue, and I love this stuff. That's so pretty. Trim that little piece off there. And then just to finish, I've got some of the sequin trim, and you don't need to do this, but it's just a little bit extra that you might want to do, is if you pull some of those sequins off. Come on. And then take the fine tipped glue pen. I'm just going to show you, because I didn't hold on, I've got the wrong piece that's come off there. It's actually easier to show you than tell you sometimes. Right, so it's that piece I need to hold on to, because it turns in the same direction. So then that piece has come off. Right, okay. And I'm going to put some tiny little dots of glue on there. And if you know how hard it is to stick sequins on with Tombow, and I love my Tombow, but it does pop out all over the place, and this is so much easier. Look at that. You can just lay them on there and leave them to stick. And I did my others about a week ago, and you know, none of them have fallen off. The glue is nice and strong to hold little tiny elements like this on. It's just the thing. So there you go. This one had plain vellum, and this one's got the printed vellum, and I think that printed vellum really makes that project pop. Looks lovely. So I hope you've enjoyed your visit to Elizabeth's craft room today. I look forward to welcoming you back again soon.